All right, welcome everybody to the first rendition, the first, hopefully of many, of playing and pairing, combining my loves of video games as well as, of course, while you're here at the channel, whiskey. So we're gonna find a whiskey that I have or that have procured, and we're gonna pair it with a character, with a game, hell, maybe even with just an overarching story or a weapon or a magic power or something, right? So today, I'm about to get into on this stream, which if you want to watch the streams live and join in the conversation and join in the play, twitch.tv/DramaKingMatt. I'll put it up there on the screen for you. Come check us out several times a week. We're on here talking whiskey, talking games, and more. Tonight, we're going to be getting into the campaign of the Witch Queen so we can get hyped up for the new Lightfall release coming in the coming weeks. So I wanted to pair a whiskey with the Witch Queen Savathun herself, the big nemesis in this year's expansion from Destiny 2. And so when I'm thinking about this, how do you pair a whiskey with the Hive Queen of trickery, of lies, of deception? Because whiskeys often, we try to make it a very honest thing. It's a very down-to-earth thing, right? But the whiskey industry is often a little shady, even when the product is really, really good. And that's what we're gonna do in this case. Cause our whiskey tonight is the Bardstown Bourbon Company. Yep, I'm wearing the short. Bardstown Bourbon Company and Copper and Kings, which is a brandy maker out of Kentucky. They collaborated on a finished whiskey. What the hell does this have to do with the Witch Queen? Well, like I said, Savathun is the hive god of trickery and lies. And in a big part of the campaign, which we will see here in the game as we play through it, is when you meet her at her altar of reflection, she will speak to you often, and right up front tells you, I'll tell you 2 truths and 2 lies, but you don't know which ones are which. So what I always find interesting about finished whiskeys, right? Finished whiskeys is we don't always have all the information we want. So we get some truths on here and it tells us it's a 10-year-old bourbon. You can't put the age, and you can't put the word bourbon. That's really particular. That's a legal thing. You can't put that on a bottle unless that's what's in the bottle. 10 years being the youngest whiskey possible in the bottle. In theory, this could have 14, 20-year-old whiskey in there, but if you're gonna put an age on there, that has to represent the youngest whiskey in the bottle. And if you're gonna call it bourbon, I've got lots of videos on that. There's specific rules for calling anything bourbon and being sold throughout the world. We have done that. We have codified bourbon as Americans, because America, damn it. But we finished it in a brandy barrel. We know that, but all we know here is it's produced by Bardstown Bourbon Company and Copper and Kings, so we don't know what kind of brandy barrel it is. It's like, we don't know how long it was in the brandy barrel. We know it's a 10-year bourbon, but was it in the brandy barrel for 2 months, 18 months, a week, 5 minutes? We don't know. So it's selling us on this finished idea. It's spent all this time, but we don't know. We also, as is a very common thing in whiskey, and especially in American whiskey and bourbon, it just says 10-year-old bourbon. A lot of people in the community like to know where it comes from. There's a lot of big distilleries that sell bourbon in bulk or in wholesale. So it's like, oh, did it come from Jim Beam in Kentucky, MGP in Indiana, so on and so forth? This doesn't say. I have an idea of where it's from, based on the profile, but we don't know. So we're not being lied to per se. So it's a loose connection there, but it's a lie of omission. So we like to know exactly where our stuff comes from. We want to know ingredients. We want to know mash bills. We want to know, what are you hiding from us?
What are you hiding?
You are like the Savathun, the Witch Queen, the queen of lies and deception. You are good. You are complex. You are very effective at what you set out to do, young bourbon. But your lies of omission have got us in a bit of a whirlwind. So let's drink it, let's taste it, and let's see what we can figure out. I think this was a nice long finish because there were some really strong, sweet, brandied, like candy apple notes. Almost some like red wine kind of notes. Deep grape and plum. Nice little black peppery spice, but nothing too herbal or spicy. Mostly sweet, fruity, a little bit of almost like, honestly, vanilla ice cream. That's where the spice comes in. Ooh, spicy Savadoon. That's where the black pepper comes in. That's where the betrayal comes in. That's the two lies coming to bite you of the two truths and two lies. But in this case, unlike in the game, I'm okay with it. I'm very much okay with it. Little less sweet than it smells, but really great spice. The finish, and this one is very long, which is what I like. I like it when it takes its time. It's got these dry, bitter, like plum and grape notes that kind of stick to the roof of your mouth. So I think this was a longer finish. This is at least 6 months, if not closer to a year or more. I don't think this was like a 1 month finish, because that you would barely taste anything. You can really taste almost like that brandy, that kind of sweeter, fruity, grapey, like I said, candied apple. Bardstown Bourbon Company, Copper and Kings collaboration. You may not tell us everything, but what we experience through you, ooh, we love so much. A little bit different than how we deal with Savathun, but we'll see more on that later. Thanks for checking this out. We'll be coming back with more playing and pairing on a regular basis very, very soon. And until the next time, happy whiskey, happy playing, and cheers, everybody.